During the Obama administration's China pivot, another prime minister upset the American empire. Kevin Rudd was not enthusiastic about agitating China, Australia's largest trading partner, simply because China's growth threatened American dominance in the Western Pacific. Secret diplomatic cables published by WikiLeaks in December 2010 revealed that the Americans plotted his ouster with the help of Senators Mark Arbib and David Feeney, and Australian Workers' Union Chief Paul Howes. They secretly provided the U.S. Embassy with regular updates on internal government discussions and divisions and promoted the American plan to replace Rudd. The Americans chose compliant Julia Gillard as Prime Minister in 2010, pictured here with American Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. She had boosted her career through Australian-American-Israel leadership forums, so was selected by the Americans as a reliable replacement. On her first day as Prime Minister, Gillard reassured U.S. President Barack Obama of Australia's continuing support for the occupation of Afghanistan, where 1,550 Australian troops were based, which was then in its 9th year of operation. She enthusiastically supported Clinton's destruction of Libya in 2011 and granted the American military access to any base it desired. The American military now uses all major Australian training areas, northern Australian airfields, and port facilities at Darwin and Fremantle. There are now 2,500 American Marines based at Darwin, along with aircraft. The Australian military is integrated to the point where it can no longer conduct major operations without American support. The secret American facility at Pine Gap in Central Australia plays a vital role in strategic nuclear targeting and intelligence gathering against Russia and China. The Americans record all Australian phone calls and emails from facilities at Watsonia near Melbourne, Geraldton, Shoal Bay, and Canberra. Australian politics, intelligence agencies, military, and much of its media are now integrated into America's imperial plans. Australian politicians join Americans to constantly denounce actions by China. As a result, China now seeks alternative suppliers like Russia for its import needs. This harms the Australian economy, and any war with China ensures Australian participation. Australian political leaders support American policies to protect themselves from proven American treachery. This was explained in 2019 by American political analyst Professor John Mearsheimer at a debate hosted by an Australian think tank. He warned the audience that the United States will do everything it can to prevent China from becoming a superpower, and Australia must sacrifice prosperity to support this effort or will face retaliation from the American empire.
Now, the question is, what does this all mean for Australia? You're in a quandary for sure. Everybody knows what the quandary is. Security-wise, you really want to go with us. It makes just a lot more sense, right? And you understand that security is more important than prosperity, because if you don't survive, you're not going to prosper. Survival is of the utmost importance because you can't pursue any other goals if you don't survive, right? So security's got to be number one. So you'll sacrifice prosperity for security, right? That's what will happen. That's why you'll be with us. Now, some people say there's an alternative. You can go with China, right? You have a choice here. You can go with China rather than the United States. There's two things I'll say about that. Number one, if you go with China, you want to understand you are our enemy. You are then deciding to become an enemy of the United States. Because we're talking about an intense security competition. You're either with us or against us. And if you're trading extensively with China and you're friendly with China, you're undermining the United States in this security competition. You're feeding the beast from our perspective. And that is not going to make us happy. And when we are not happy, you do not want to underestimate how nasty we can be. Right? Just ask Fidel Castro.